Candace Speaks. Thank you for dropping in. We're going live tonight because we're going to follow up on this Shanquella Robinson situation. It's just so disturbing to me that this could happen to a young person who's just going to have a good time with people she believes are her friends. So for those who have not seen what's going on, Shanquella was a 25-year-old young lady who went on a trip to Mexico, Cabo San Lucas, with 6 of her so-called friends, and she did not come home. She was there only for about 24 hours and never made it back home. So there's some very disturbing video that I'm going to show you first, and then we'll take it from there. Because the story was with her friends that she got sick from alcohol poisoning, that they were all drinking. She got sick. They were attending to her while she was sick. And within those 24 hours, she passed from alcohol poisoning. And then this video comes out. So I want to share with you first this video. And then let's talk about it.
Good look, can we at least fight back?
No.
At least something. At least fight back, something.
Get up, bro. Get up.
Yeah.
Stop right there. The reason I want to show you this video, first of all, I did a video on this a day ago. And I said it was a setup. Because who does this? Who beats their friend up like that? But even more so, I had heard that this person, Dejhanae, that's the person who's attacking this young lady. The young lady being attacked is Shanquella. Is supposed to be transgender. And as I looked at this person, he's beating her like a man. And let me find this picture. First, I'm going to show you again. I want you to show, and I want you to really pay attention because these are supposed to be her friends, but they're videotaping this. They're videotaping it and encouraging her to fight back. And the poor girl's like, no. That wasn't a no, like, yeah, it was no, like, I can't. Like, I'm over, it's not even overwhelmed. She can't fight back. She's being overpowered, should I say, overpowered. I want you to hear this again. Listen to it. There's more than one person in that room, and these are supposed to be friends with this happening.
Good look, can we at least fight back?
Look how he's hitting that girl. Look how he's, the force, the hate, the fury coming from this person. You hear what she said? No. He said, Shanquella, can you fight back? And she said, no, because she's overpowered right now. She really is. That's like a no for help. Nobody helped her. But there's two. You see there's another phone in there? You see that phone with those fingernails? There is another person in there videotaping, a female, watching this happen.
At least something.
This person took off their wig and threw it on the floor as this girl is on the floor, and they are continuing to pound on her as she doesn't fight back. She's just there limp, overpowered.
At least fight back, something.
Get up, bro. Get up.
That part right there. Then you hear somebody yell, get off, bro. Get off. Get off, bro. Get off. And I'm saying that because, let me see if I can get this picture on here for you guys. The person who is attacking her, can I share this screen? Is supposed to be transgender. There we go. This is him right here. So this is Dejhanae. This is his before, and this is his after. And I'm saying this is such an important conversation. Let me see. Exactly, Norm. Norm, are you going to try to come up? I want you to come up. I think if you hit that StreamYard, that should bring you into the building, and I can bring you up. Where's the next part where the slam? Did you see the slam, King? Did you see it? The reason I'm bringing this up, y'all, and this, be very respectful, please be very respectful in this conversation, because we're not here to bash anybody, but I have to be candid about what I feel about this situation, because this is a transgender female, born male, who is now female, which means he has the physiology of a man. So when you watch that video, and let me just show you her picture. She was little, all total female. He has the physiology and the physicality of a man. That was a video of watching a man beat a woman. Beat a woman. She was overpowered. There was no way it was going to be a fair fight. None. I don't have. Oh, hi, Norm. Let's see. Can I add you to this stream? Welcome, Norm. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Candace.
This is so disturbing to me. King, I see you. I see you. Wonder why nobody can't define woman. We're going to address that. We're going to talk about it. Because the reality is the male build, the physiology of it, their muscles are denser, their bones are denser, they're stronger, they're bigger, their body structure is bigger. They're stronger than females. That's why you have male and female sports. They normally keep them separated, because women are made of more fat. We're not as dense, we're not as strong. You don't see boxing matches with men and women. You don't see, you have a female sport, you have a male sport. To me, that girl had no chance. And I think she felt that from the first blow. Because I want to say in that video, you did kind of see her try to swing initially in the very, very beginning, because he came in swinging. And right then, she was overpowered. She was overpowered. She couldn't. When they said to her, aren't you going to even try to fight back? King, UFC has trans. Do they fight just each other? And please feel free to come up, because this is going to be a good learning experience. But I'm going to say this, and just as a nurse, I've been a nurse for 25 years. You know, I had to take anatomy and physiology. And I definitely believe that this is not about bashing. This is not about this person being transgender. What it is about is that it was never a fair fight. I understand that you are Dejhanae goes by she's a female. But when it comes down to those of this female battling this female, the physiology is not the same. It was never going to be a fair fight. And when I saw the fight, the girl was overpowered and he beat her like a man. There is no question about that. And I look at it as same as in sports. There was some kind of swim thing that went on earlier this year where you had all these young lady swimmers. They were the top ranked young women swimmers, top ranked. And they got beat by a transgender female, a male that was now female. In most swimming competitions, just like most other sports, the men swim against each other and the women swim against each other. They keep trying to say that this is some kind of fair fight and kept saying she was attacked by her. No, physiology wise, he still has a man's body. And let me tell you what's more disturbing about this to me. Everybody in that house, because I still believe it was a setup, they knew what was going to happen. They had their cameras out. They're videotaping and like, come on, fight back. What they wanted to viral YouTube? What did they want to be viral on YouTube? What were they trying to do? Who watches their friends do that? But as friends, all y'all know this person's transgender, so you know that he was a male at one time. I don't believe taking estrogen is going to change his physical, the way his cells reproduce in his body. That made his muscles stronger and his bones denser and his build different than a woman. The estrogen helps to help him grow breasts and kind of soften up, give you more emotions, and maybe lose some hair or something like that. I mean, it gives you more female attributes, but didn't really take away the male part, because you still have testosterone. King, what are you saying here? The third person is the one who snapped it. Okay, we're gonna get to that too. Is there a second video? Have you seen that video? King, let me know if you've seen that video, because I haven't seen that video yet, but I heard about it. And I do have another video that we can watch. Norman, did you want to chime in? What did you want to say about this, Norm?
I think for the most part, it is discouraging for us to embrace a community that doesn't understand that the male gender is still the male gender, despite the transition from being a male to female or female to male, and I think that's scary in a way that we don't know what to expect of that, and obviously this is a definite way of really recognizing that there can be a lot of danger involved with it.
Absolutely. And I wonder, see, there's a mindset. I just want to read this with King, because King, you're saying, I have to read what King is saying right now. First, he says, all friends ain't friends. And I totally agree with you. You got to be careful who you hang around with. And you have to look for the red flags, because Shanquella had a lot going on for herself besides her beauty. According to her mom, she was a sweet girl. She had her own little hair braiding business. She has on Instagram where she did little kids' hair. And, she got all the little pictures. I was going to put them up with their little kids. But she has all the pictures of the little kids' hair. It sounded like she was kind of doing her thing. She was beautiful. She had her little Instagram pictures and stuff, and there's jealousy.
Sure, yeah.
And there's a picture, and I might have it on here, a picture with Dejhanae, because Dejhanae's an attractive woman. I could see where the jealousy could kick in, though. Jealousy, envy, and hate. But the whole group.
Yeah.
You also said, you wonder why nobody can't define woman. Is it that they can't or they choose not to, King? I can define woman. I just think it's the era that we're in. Because in reality, people don't want to have gender anymore, period. Have you heard about that?
Oh.
They don't. That's the next thing, fluid and no gender at all. How about if you're going to establish your own culture, just have your own culture, but don't try to get away with what's already established biologically.
Yeah, true. I agree.
King, you said UFC has trans. I asked, do they fight amongst each other, or do they go between the men, the women, who they fight whoever based on whatever however they've been transitioned?
That's a very good point.
I'm curious, because what we're seeing is, and it's kind of like one of the things that, a girl wants to be in a football team, so that the girl play, and they're like, well, can you take a hit, kind of a thing. I can see that, because you got to kind of build yourself up to be with the boys. But when you put a male with the women's sports, it's just kind of not fair. I'm not gonna say kind of. It's not fair. It's not because of the body makeup. King said they were in another room plotting. Oh, I believe that, King. I believe they plotted the whole thing, and I have more I'm gonna tell y'all about. Hi, Cheryl. I see that you're here. And if you want to come up, Cheryl, there's a link. And King, feel free to hit that link if you want to come up. I hope you still see the link. It's up there. Do we know if he just started beating her? Was there? So we don't know if there was an argument before. I would assume that there were some words exchanged. I mean, they set her up. Whatever they did, I feel this is alleged, y'all. But just the way it looks to me, they knew what they were going to do to that child. And the sad part is her best friend is the one that set her up, allegedly, from what it looks like. His name is Khalil. What is Khalil's last name? Khalil Cook. They've been friends for over 7 years. So close that they were roommates at one time. So close that the mother in interviews is saying that they spent time together. He spent family time with them. We all have friends like that we consider family. He was like considered family. She trusted her child with him in a whole nother country. She even said to him, because he's the one who called the mother. They got there on the 28th of October. This is how old this is, y'all, because this should have been top news back then. Social media is bringing this out. Oh, because if you don't know, let's just say it real quick again. If you don't know, what happened was they left Mexico saying this girl had passed from alcohol toxicity. Mexico wasn't going to do anything about it, period. They just let them leave. These people went home, told the family, took the girl's luggage, told the family, oh, it was the alcohol, and were going by every day consoling the family, including this girl, Winter. That's the girl that's in the video with the nails, also videoing. Consoling the family until that video came out. And an autopsy report came out. And when that autopsy report came out, it said the girl's neck was broken. The girl's neck was broken and her spine was cracked. This is sickening. 6 so-called friends set her up, left her in a foreign country, came back all together in cahoots and lied about it. Ooh. Just as inhumane. Oh, it's just awful. It's inhumane. Not one had the integrity to just tell the truth, not to be involved. So as far as I'm concerned, they're all involved. If you didn't step up,
yeah, absolutely,
you are also involved.
I heard something this morning that.
What you hear, Norman?
That Winter body slammed her at one point. They showed all the pictures of everyone that was there, and she was the one who I think was the final blow. So it's super interesting to see what happened through all that.
So that's what King is talking about too. And I did hear this on another video, and we can watch it with maybe 5 minutes of it, because there was an interview by a person named Gerald Jackson. He has a blog called North Carolina Beat, and he actually did an interview. Oh, is that who you saw? He did an interview with the mother, the father, and the sister. There's supposed to be another video circulating, or it'll probably show up, where you'll see, they said a light-skinned girl put her hands around her neck, SHANQUELLA'S neck, and slam her, and that was the last blow.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy.
And I'm just trying to figure out in my head, when did she have time to do that? The girl was beaten on the floor by the man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, you mean to tell me this girl is such an animal? And I have to call it the way I see it, because there's nothing humane about what happened to this young lady. Nothing. It's so evil. You want to tell me that after the man, Dejhanae,
The man.
whatever you want to say,
The man.
if this had not been the situation, y'all, I would call him she. I don't have a problem with that. I just want you to know that. But because of this situation, you have to address it the way it really is. Because that man has the physicality of a man, that female physicality of a man. He beat that girl. She's on the floor. He was kicking and beating. He threw her like a rag dog by her neck. And you mean to tell me that Winter, allegedly, it was her, walked up to her while she's on the floor, naked, to choke her and threw her again? When are they going to get these people?
Right away.
The brutality of all this.
I think one thing that stood out for me was that even when she was down and she was absolutely submissive and she didn't have an emotion in her body, he still attacked her.
With full force. Full force. Cheryl said it's on video. How come no arrest? Good question. Honestly, Cheryl, is it because it happened in Mexico? So yes, let's just say this. Because of the jurisdictional issue, Mexico didn't really want to have anything to do with it. They said that there was no foul play. And then even when the autopsy came out, they weren't going to do anything about it. What happened was it got all over social media, and now the FBI are involved, and now they're talking to Mexico. But in Mexico, from what I'm seeing on other like channels, like ABC, reputable resources, are saying that it was a professor or somebody saying that Mexico has to invite us in, the U.S., the FBI, to work with them if they choose to. Now, I'm thinking that they are choosing to. I'm hoping that's the case. But the FBI in Charlotte's definitely involved now. And I hope that they really are working with Mexico. We should see some arrests soon. This is going to be unfolding all day, every day until it happens. We should start seeing some arrests. They're looking for Dejhanae. It sounds like Dejhanae fled and went to Connecticut. It sounds like her mother lives in Connecticut. And now why they can't find her or haven't gotten her yet, who knows? But, you know, when you're looking at legality, they have to have proof and, you know, the right documents before they go grabbing people and arresting folks. But I guarantee they're looking for them, have an idea where everybody is. I would really think that, because again, it's 6 of them. And so far as we've only heard about Malik was the one videotaping. He's the one who said, "You're not even going to fight back." That was Malik. So some people thought it was this guy named Nazir. Nazir's the one that came out with the video saying, "I wasn't there.
Came a day later."
I came later."
Yeah.
He has a video saying he wasn't there. He came later, but he was there when she wasn't doing well. He was there, the one that was supposed to be supporting her, and thought he thought they told him too that it was alcohol poisoning. So he's thinking, you know, what you would do if a friend is drunk and they passed out. But, you know, friends, when they pass out, you can normally arouse them. You can normally make them, they're going to say something. They're going to have a pulse.
Yeah, sure.
You know, we have Malik. We have Winter there. We have Khalil, who's supposed to be her best friend, was in the room while this was happening. Set that girl up. There's at least 2 to 3 people that we can't really say. We don't know where they were. We don't know if they were in the room, where they were in the house. I believe they're all in the house. So again, this is going to be steadily unfolding. And we're just going to keep, I really just came on because I'm just so appalled by the fact that everybody there knows that Dejhanae is trans, or what they call them, androgynous trans. He's transitioned to female. Yeah. He has the anatomy of a male, and basically you watched a man beat a woman like that, and everybody in there knew, allegedly, because they're all friends. They've all been friends. They went to college. These people went to college. Dang. They all went to college together.
Yeah, the tough part for me, Candace, is that one, to your point, it's a male. And the second thing is that what I've read this morning or saw this morning was all of them separating themselves from their social media. I don't believe that the gentleman that was there I don't believe he was there. The third thing is that there was a reporter who went to every one of their houses, sent them texts, and got on social media. And they showed up at her parents' house to console them. And that is absolutely out of this world for me. Just don't understand why you would add insult to injury, because in my opinion, I feel like they're guilty.
Oh, yes. One thing King was also saying, he said in these third world countries, that they handle these kind of situations differently. Let me read exactly what he said. Oh, he's talking about the different stories there. Well, he said, like I said before, the laws are weak. People don't get life in jail for murder in these third world countries. He had said something that was very, what did he say about this computer? Sorry, King, I wish you would just come up. He said, in the third world is where people from USA and Europe get away with murder because their laws are weak.
Yeah.
Cheryl said that she doesn't think that Mexico's going to do anything.
They are. I disagree. I think they're a sovereign state. So
they're a sovereign state.
Yeah, and that's for country. And what I did hear was that they are investigating. That's how the whole autopsy came about, with her having a broken neck and back. And the FBI is asking for any information they can get from anyone that's involved or heard something. Our FBI. So
yeah,
so I'm looking forward to the outcome.
They're doing that now.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
You know, this happened October 28th.
I know, that was just crazy.
This is November 18th. And our country's having to go to them and say, hey, can y'all do something about this? We need something to happen. My question is, how come we can't? I thought the United States, could still do something. I thought there's a name for it. Do you guys know what it is? Where if the other country doesn't do it, we can still prosecute in the United States. Do you know?
The lawyer said that it's something that if we decide that we want to, it has to be high priority, in my opinion. Let's look at Brittany.
Oh, they did say something about that. Yeah. High priority.
So Brittany Griner is a high priority, but this is obviously becoming one, hopefully.
I hope so. And that's why people are reporting on it.
Sure.
They're trying to keep it going. They want them to do something. Something has to be done. It's not even on our major channels. But you know what was on the major channels? And I feel bad. And there were 4 white students that were killed recently. I don't know if they were in their dorms or what. Mm-hmm. It's on a major news channel. I think it was on KTVU. It's probably on all the, because they were stabbed to death and they don't know who was. They were stabbed. This is recent. I just saw it on the news today. And I'm thinking, so that gets news coverage? But something as brutal and nasty and cold and evil that people stood around and watched. That it didn't even happen. I think it happened before. They knew what they were going to do. They set that girl up, had her fly all the way to Mexico.
Absolutely.
They hated that girl. They despised her for some reason. Jealousy, I think. And they wanted her to get beat up. And the one they allowed to put Paul's hands on them, I don't even say Paul, so that's something you say when you're playing. This is nothing cute. There's nothing funny about it. They let a man do it. Now, this is what I want to say, because I keep saying this is a man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Cheryl. They were the 4 white kids that were stabbed in their dorm, and they got major coverage. She needs major coverage. I haven't even seen this on TMZ. Why not? You get some real major coverage, then we're going to see some action. But hopefully we see it anyway. Now we're gonna pray for it. I know that. Because I want every one of these people prosecuted. Every single one that was involved, that was there, who didn't have the decency to show up and tell the truth about a human life. And even the guy that was saying, I wasn't there. Where's the remorse, though? Where's the sadness? Is anybody sad? Is anybody crying? Has a tear been dropped?
Yeah, the one thing that stood out for me was that he started talking about, I arrived late. I didn't get the chance to go four-wheeling. I didn't get a chance to...
Did he say that?
No, he did. He said, I didn't get a chance to enjoy the chef. And he sat there next to her and consoled her. And it was really all about him. Selfish nature. You have to watch that. Have to watch that. It has 400,000 views, which is, I find amazing. Somebody died. This child is no longer going to be with her parents. And it's very a casual affair, you know, on social media. And I just find that hard to believe.
What do you think about the fact that there were other people there that just watched this happen? Even say if she didn't pass from it, but that you would actually sit and watch somebody get beat up like that and not stop it. Now, somebody at the very end said, okay, that's enough, man, or whatever they said at the very end. Get off, bro, or whatever. But they definitely said, bro.
Yeah,
they
no.
Said, girl. They didn't say, get off, girl, get off. They didn't say girl. They said, bro.
It's a scary thought for me personally to see. Imagine it. There's someone videotaping a transgender male beating on a woman. So if you watch the video, the initiator was the male, in my opinion. And it was the defense that she tried to procreate in that moment. And then when she was down, which is the most scariest thing for me, he not only beat her down, he used his knee and his hands to continue to add to what he had already finished. Despite what's going on in the background, there's 6 people around her videotaping this, and no one's jumping in to help. And we hear, aren't you going to fight back? This is a woman who's fighting a male, transgender or not. That's the most disturbing for me. Sorry, Candace, I didn't cut you off.
Yes, Miss Winters. Hello, this is so tragic and awful. It is, and that's why I'm talking about it. You know, I don't come on that often because I'm really trying to find my way. But something this serious, it's just so tragic. And you just wonder about human nature right now. It's so evil. I mean, you have to call it what it is. The lies. These people went to the parents. They left her in Mexico, came to the parents, and were visiting the parents for days, up to 4 or 5 days, consoling them with the lie that it was alcohol poisoning. But somebody had called and said, no, they got to fight. And the sister was asking about it. And they were lying, saying no. And then somebody put the video out. I think they said it was Winter initially who put the video out. But I don't know. Could we see her videotaping? I don't know. I'm glad the video came out. Somebody has to have a conscience in here. We need justice for Shanquella, period. Oh, this is even worse. Because they said the girl was so sweet, Shanquella, that she paid for the villa and a couple of the friends airfare. They were jealous of this girl. They were jealous of her. Initially, we were really more tripping on the fact that I want to say, because society, we see people for who they are. You know, we want you to have love. We're not here to to question who you identify with at all. But it gets to a point, though, that you identify so much with a female that you think you should be able to fight a female. See, that's where there's confusion, as far as I'm concerned. It's confusion. Because you're now able to present and be who you feel you are. You thought the rest of your body changed too? Do you not think that? Where is it written that it's okay for a man to beat up on a woman, period? It's the confusion. Oh, wait a minute, Miss Winter said. They used her credit card to return home the next day. Did you see? I didn't know about that. Oh my God, they're awful. Oh my God, they're awful.
Crazy. Wow.
This is so disturbing. It's disgusting. It's evil. You know, I pray for her parents. Her mom is so stoic because I wouldn't be able to talk still.
Christians.
And they are Christians.
Yes.
And they just want the truth. I look at the mom and how she's answering those questions. And she's just I just feel like she's in shock still. Because mom talked to her the night that she got there, but it was Friday night, and the girl was excited. She was having, we about to eat. We have a chef here. You know, you want to brag on where you're at. You're in a villa in Cabo San Lucas. You know, we've traveled to Mexico. The villa thing is even because you get a private chef. I believe the villa was like 6,000 square feet. I guess everybody had their own room. You know, you're on the beach. This is a time to be celebrated and to have a good time. And her mom talked to her, and she said, okay, well, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. And never again. Never again. Could you imagine people jumping on you and you think, and your best friend is in the room. You can't even turn. When she said no, it was a begging kind of no, like, no. It was always heart clenching to me because it was like, can't you help me? Somebody help me. And that man was wailing on her with all his might.
Candace, here's what's interesting is that the mom called right after the event of her being beat up and probably dead. And what I've read and heard is that someone reached out to the parents or answered her phone, I should say, and said that she's sleeping right now. She had a lot to drink the night before on two occasions. So it's a lot deeper than what we even know, honestly.
Oh, there's so much unraveling right now. Exactly, King. In that video, you hear somebody say, enough, bro. And wait.
Right.
You said bro. And that's what I keyed in on too, bro. Because when you know, if you knew it was girl and all girl, you'd be like, girl, sister, chick, whatever. You're gonna be like, bro. People could say no, but I'm gonna say there was a bro being said for a reason. And then with that same reason, if you knew that, why would you sit down there letting that bro beat on a girl with all his might? So this is what I was gonna say about that. Cheryl said, right. I just agree. You know, yes, jealousy. Oh, it's a terrible thing. And it's full of hate. I'm still going to say there's a delusion going on. There's confusion at a certain point. And I'm going to say because a society has allowed it to happen. Because the day, and y'all, please y'all don't come after me. Because again, I want people to just love. I like love. I want people to embrace who they are and to be happy. Please just be happy in your life. But you have to embrace reality too. Embrace reality too. And the reality is, I feel like that man fought her like he was a woman. You know, most men kind of fight like this. bam. He was well. Woo, woo, woo. See, women fight like that. Woo, woo. We windmill. So imagine a man windmilling, a strong man who would normally kind of calculate their punch, so they get a chance to like kind of maybe stop. Windmilling. He was non-stop on that girl, like a woman. He was fighting her like a woman would, except we probably wouldn't have the same power. And then my thing is, why are you still fighting her like that? And she's down, just sitting. She's not even fighting you back. That is hate. Why did he hate her so? And I think all of them. I can imagine. Even if I didn't like you, I would have intervened. We're not doing that. You're gonna stop it. But the fact that all they wanted to do was put out a camera and video. And Norm, you said something that we kind of talked about it yesterday. Anything for social media.
Whew.
You want to talk about that?
I think what we're, as a society, I think social media is informative, honestly, if it's positive. But I think in this instance, where have we gotten to in terms of knowing that something's damaging and we forgot humanity? And that's basically what happened in this event. It was a man beating on a woman, and I don't want to harp on that as much as I do want to harp on the people who are recording and who didn't jump in and help your friend that you call a friend. Where's that gone? I don't have a testimony for the people who allowed that to happen, fear or not. I know in my generation, we would have, in your generation, Candace, we would have stepped in and said, enough is enough.
Yeah.
What's vivid for me is watching this young lady, this young woman, prosperous, doing all the things she's done for her friends and for her family, at a moment where she decided that it was enough, and she was laying next to the foot of that bed, and it was continued, period, male or female.
Right.
And it made it worse that it was a male. I am really looking forward to justice at this point.
I just want justice for her.
Yeah.
I want them to be fully prosecuted to the max. And King, I hear you when you say these third worlds, they take it lightly. I hope that we in the United States can prosecute them. I hope they can be prosecuted, and that it's first degree because of how it was planned. I don't know what's going to happen. They all played a part. And again, I look at society with the delusion because I am female now, and and I mean, and he's a very pretty, attractive female. Do I have that other picture? I have another picture. I don't know if I pulled it up, but I have another picture with the two of them next to each other, and they almost were. If they could have been in a competition, they were so pretty. But this is the male and female. Him as a male and then as a female. But there's other pictures where he's a very pretty woman. But does it go so far to the fact that you really, since you identify as woman, you really, I hate to say the word think, you see yourself really equal? Physically?
I think
I think they do.
If I can say something, Candace, I think we're jaded by the idea that we embrace a society of people who are transgender, right? And that's fine, but we forget about the genetics of a person and what they truly are physically.
The genetics,
but what we see as a society is what we see visually, and willing to accept that, and forgetting that this person is a male or female, and with respect to however that happens, but we disregard, to your point.
Sorry, y'all.
This is a man. This is absolutely a dude, and there is no misconception physically to what this person can do to you and how you should react to that. She reacted in a way that most women who are abused, and I think in that situation, she said, "No, I don't want it anymore. I'm good, you know, and I'm fine." And he continued. And I say he because genetically he's a male, and that's scary because we don't see the forest through the trees in situations like that, and that's scary for our society in general.
And that's what I'm really just trying to get at, is that this to me is so more scarier than the fact that we have the sexual brutality, and then we have the friends you can't trust, that who are not really friends. You know, you don't know who you have. You just got to be real careful who you spend your time with and that you put your trust into. But the fact that society makes things so normal.
Normalizes, yes,
They
absolutely.
normalize everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember when I did this video when I started going through menopause. You remember this? And it was when Caitlyn Jenner came out and became trans. Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, right?
Sure, that's a very good
And
point.
do you remember that?
Yeah.
And got the award for Woman of the Year or something, like Woman of the Year. And it was a major magazine. I can't remember which one it was now, but it was a major magazine.
Well,
Remember,
let's say it was
he had
Vogue.
just come out, and I was so appalled by that, because I'm like, if you want to give him Transgender Woman of the Year, call it the way it is.
Good point.
Because there's a whole bunch of women who were born women who are doing amazing things and are doing amazing things, and it's really not that easy being a woman because our hormones have us all jacked up. Eve was not good to us. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really go through the stuff that we go through, especially when you hit menopause, which I thought I was going half crazy, but so I had done a whole video on that, and it's not knocking being transgender. I was saying embrace your culture.
Yes.
It's a new culture. It's not a new culture, but it's an accepted culture. But embrace it. But you have to be able to identify woman and transgender woman. Stop trying to make it like you're the one and alike, because we're not. We're not. There is a difference.
Yeah, I think the one
And I
concern.
think that's where the delusion came in. Do you remember that they had the man that had the baby? Do you remember that? Because what it was a transgender female who turned male, and then he and his partner decided they wanted a baby. She and her partner decided they wanted a baby. So then it was okay for the male to get impregnated. Well, which one are you? Are you a male or a female? Because men cannot have babies. Do you understand the confusion I'm talking about, Joe? This is where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what made it work is the media said it was okay. Media said man has baby. See, media did that to the world. And I said, no, he did not. She had a baby. Because she still had a uterus, and she still had fallopian tubes, and she still has estrogen. She still had everything she needed to have a baby grow and give birth. It had a vaginal canal.
Yes. I mean, Candace, do you think that because of society's influence with social media and the acceptance of what we believe to be true in fantasy, because basically social media creates the fantasy, is that the driving force for what happened with her? Because they decided to take a video versus helping her.
I'm sorry, say it one more time, Nora.
I said fantasy is kind of what is created through social media. Some of it's real, some of it's not. And do you think that them taking the video was a part of that fantasy, and that's disruption to common society and what we think is right and wrong, without helping her, versus taking a video and saying, I will put this on Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever that social media source is, versus saving this young lady's life? I think that's it.
Yeah. I think the society is desensitized to being humane.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
This is beyond being desensitized, though. It's
Yeah.
it's
Scary.
pure evil.
Yeah.
And yeah, and everybody, oh my God, social media, and I hate to knock it because I enjoy YouTube, but it's not my everything. God, got real friends, real life, you know. You want to use it for a good space, but people are too busy trying to get rich. It's so sad. It's the love of money. Oh, if I get the right video and I get viral and I get millions, then I'm gonna be on TV and I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get it. So somebody's life. And let's just say this: do we really think that person was trying to kill her? Oh, I'm sorry. Can I say that on YouTube?
You can.
Was trying to end her life.
Don't think so. That's the point, I think. I think we...
Okay. I just want to read this real quick. Miss Winter said that they're saying, I'm not sure, Miss Winter, where are you getting this information? She said they're saying that she's not trans. She had a baby a few months ago. She has strong features. So, Miss Winter, let me just ask you this. Is this him?
Kind of, sort of.
Because they said this is him and this is him. One blogger used the term androgynous, but see, androgynous does not necessarily say that trans, since you had male traits and female traits. This person dressed and looks like a woman. I don't know if they're on hormones. I don't know if they had any kind of surgeries, but presents as female. Until he was fighting. And his friend said, bro, that's enough.
There you go. That's it. That says it all to me.
So Ms. Winter said this is an edited photo.
Could be.
Okay, possible. Because let me just keep saying alleged then. He was beating her. He was beating her like a man. I want to see the baby. Do we see a baby? How do we know? Where did you see that? I'm curious.
Me too.
King said, that's why I said people can't define what's a woman these days.
Good point.
You hear that, Norm?
Good point. That's our point.
Yeah. I think that's what it's kind of hard to tell.
We're visual creatures.
And this is the thing, trying to be, I don't even want to say politically correct. In my heart, I'm like, I'm not here to judge nobody. Do you? And be happy, be good people. So is what I see. I'm a character person. I want everybody to have love. I'm not here to judge anybody. If that's what it fills your soul and keeps you fulfilled, be a good person though. Have good character, good judgment. Just be a good person. Do I have my own point of view? They have us scared to talk about our own real point of view because they'll come after you, child, honey. My true point of view is what I am saying, though. I'm not here to judge people. I know all kinds of people. And as long as you have a good spirit and you're a good person, it's your one life that you have to live. I say, live it to your fullest. I'm not your judge. That's what I say. But this kind of confusion, see, this is what's happening. But now they're saying that it is a female. But I'm telling you, they friend of theirs said, bro, that's enough. The friend. And I think they knew what they meant when they said bro.
Yeah, I don't think a male can have ovaries. That's all I'm saying. That's what produces children. So that's how I look at it.
Miss Winters said that they doxed something about the personal information. They were also on Twitter because they want her brought to justice. Who was on Twitter? Everything's on Twitter. It seems like there's a lot of stuff going on Twitter.
Social media.
I'm kind of banning Twitter right now because of Elon Musk. But there's a lot of information going on Twitter. She said something about people that went to school with her. And are we talking about Dejhanae? Is that her name? Okay. Okay, well, it's possible. We'll see. We'll see. They definitely said, bro, I feel like that's their picture. Somebody put on TikTok, I didn't pull it up. All the friends' pictures. There were a couple of more girls. You had Winner. There were a couple of guys. And then on this picture on TikTok, they were saying, you're going to get it. You're going to get what you deserve. They had like little sayings and stuff like that on there. And then they had this particular picture on there and said, and you are transgender.
Yeah, it seems like that Winner is the standout. Like she's the one missing piece because there's supposed to be a video of her connected to all of it. And I think that opens the whole Pandora's box for me.
Winner?
The body slam. Yeah, Winner seems to be the one that initially had an issue with her, or before or after, I'm not sure. But what I heard this morning was pretty scary because I did see all of their pictures and watched the videos, and I was concerned about it was the fact that they shut off all their social media and they made statements between each other and afterwards shut off all their social media. It's like they were in corroboration with each other to hide this whole thing. That's just how I feel.
Yeah. So they are looking at their conversations because, you know, you can find all the conversations and stuff, and they're trying to see how far back this goes. You know, the FBI is on all this. It's going to come to a head. We're going to see it come to a head. It'll probably happen in a few days. The question is, are they going to be extradited back to Mexico? And is Mexico going to really do anything about it? Or can we do it here in the United States? I push for them to be able to prosecute them here in the United States. I guarantee they're gathering all the information on every single one of them that they can.
They all need to go to jail.
They all need to go to jail. Everybody needs to be. Everybody who did, any one of them that did not come back and just tell the truth and just say, "Look, I was there and it had nothing to do with this, and I was scared." Maybe they were scared to jump in. I don't know. Whatever the situation is, but they came back and told the truth. But the problem is, they all conspired and told the same lie.
I think I read something that Dejhanae was the truth will come out in a text on Instagram. I'm almost certain, and they're arguing between her and the guy who put the initial video out trying to exonerate himself. I forget his name.
Nazir. That's Nazir Wiggins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're going back and forth about, you know, you were there. I don't know why you're lying. And his video had everything to do with him saying or denying everything. And she thought that it's funny because she may have thought that what she did was correct. I think it's how it was going to come out in the wash. That no matter what happened between them, something went bad or left for him to do that to her. I'm going back to the fantasy thing. Do you really think that physically you're a male or female?
That's really the bottom line, because to watch, and that's where I came back with this, because I'm not going to just follow this every day. You know, I feel for the parents so much, and it's everywhere. I mean, if I were them, I just wouldn't even get online. But they're going to have to whatever investigating they can get. You know, this is just more heartfelt. And my concern again was this whole delusion, because society and media says, okay, so you're a woman, you know, and men can have babies. They're perpetrating something that's not true. And I say, just embrace your culture. But embracing your culture says, I'm a trans woman. I feel like I was in the wrong body. So therefore, I fit what I look like how I feel. I look like I feel.
True.
But it doesn't make it true.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. So you can't say, so I'm a woman. No, please be clear and say, I'm a transsexual woman or transgender, because I think there's a difference, you know. And then King said something about sex change, you know, whatever the situation is, just be honest. I was not born a woman, or I was not born a man. Does that not say it all?
Adam and Eve. It says it all.
I think that says it all. And enjoy and embrace your culture. You
Yeah,
know,
I think
I'm not against that, but I think the delusion of thinking that I'm a woman and I'm gonna fight this other girl, you know, you thought that was fair.
yeah. I think
Oh
every
my
father, Candace, will see it the same way. That my child was beaten to death. You get what I'm saying? It's not. We're not going to rationalize if whether or not you thought that in your skin you should have been a girl. We're going to see. Me personally, I'm going to see a man beating my daughter to death, and that in itself, with all the fantasy that's being created through social media, will. I'm still going to manage it the same way as a father, and I don't know what my reaction is going to be in retaliation. Right. So let's just think of it even further than that. Right. So we're hoping that this father, who is being very, very comforted by God and the Christian that he is, I'm sure he's crying, he's hurting, he's having all these emotions that are going on. But for me, I'm a Christian, but I want retribution, because this is not a woman on woman in the naturalness of what a woman and a woman is. It is a whole different. It's a male beating up a female, and I can only give my perspective because that's how I would feel about it.
Do you think any of them have any remorse, y'all? Do you think behind the scenes we just don't know it yet, but people have gone to the FBI and they have remorse and they're actually telling the truth now? Because they said that everybody's telling on each other too, by the way.
Absolutely, they should.
They're saying that, so I'm gonna have to really get up and really look around. You know, trying to navigate this
Right.
is difficult. Trying to see, you know, who's saying what. But I do have another video if y'all want to watch this real quick. Maybe do 5 minutes of it. So this is Chef Don Don, and he had an interview with Gerald Jackson, and Gerald Jackson is a blogger with the North Carolina Beat, and Gerald had an interview with mom, dad, and sister. So just let's listen to this for a minute.
I spoke with them at length. Mom, I talked to the dad, who I'm doing an exclusive interview with tonight. And I also talked to SHANQUELLA'S sister, and they told me that, SHANQUELLA was invited by her best friend of more than 7 years, Khalil Cook. Okay. This is not just a person that you go to the club with so many times, or you see him at a certain place so many times, you're friends. No, this is a person who went to school with each other. She was a roommate with him and his girlfriend. He went on family vacations with family members, with her family members. I mean, they were friends. And he took her, invited her to come to Dejhanae's birthday getaway, which was 3 days, over in Cabo, Mexico. And they got there on Friday, October 28th. But the next day, Saturday, Khalil calls SHANQUELLA'S mom in Salamandra and tells her, that SHANQUELLA's not feeling good. She was throwing up, she wasn't feeling good, and she's resting, And so the mom was like, okay, well, just, look after her, Khalil, and just, let us know what's going on. They thought maybe she had a hangover. So some time had passed by, and he called back, and he told her that the paramedics was over there at the villa, and they were trying to resuscitate SHANQUELLA. And they were confused, because you had just called us and said that she was laying down resting or whatever, and we thought it might have been a hangover, because that Friday they were drinking, or whatever. You get towed out, drunk in Buddha Brown, the next morning, you a little sluggish, or what have you. So they were confused by that. So he put them on hold. He came back to the line, and he told them it was alcohol poisoning. So she said that the next day, the 30th, they came back to the United States, came back to Charlotte. Khalil brought SHANQUELLA'S belongings to the house. And when he got over there, he had told
Awful.
her again that it was alcohol poisoning. And they told me, they said, Gerald, to be honest with you, we don't have any other reason not to believe him. Again, because this is SHANQUELLA'S, their daughter, guy best friend. This guy is someone that they trust, so they didn't have no reason not to believe him. But, you know, like I told them, I said, well, first of all, if we all get towed down right now, you know, and the next morning, you know, I'm dead, you can't say that it's alcohol poisoning. There needs to be a full autopsy and a toxicology report to see how I died. You get what I'm saying? You can't just say alcohol poisoning. Like,
Right.
how can you, without any type of medical experience, you know, determine a person, you know, dying of alcohol poisoning? And that was a red flag to me when, you know, when they were telling me the story, you know, or what have you. And so he came by the house, brought the luggage, you know, was still saying, you know, alcohol poisoning. So they said that he kept coming back over every day afterwards. He kept coming back over. His mom would be with him. He kept coming back over. And every time they talked about SHANQUELLA, he would start sweating bad. He would start grabbing his beard and rubbing it. And you would think, they said you would think he was coming off of something. And so, yeah. And so they said, well, Gerald, again, we had no reason not to believe him. So they said, well, we'll just wait till the autopsy comes back. Well, before the autopsy came back, Khalil brought over Dejhanae, which is the girl that was in the video you can all see fighting her, and another girl by the name of Winter Donovan. Okay. He brought those two girls to the house. Elise wasn't with them. Okay. He brought them over to the house, and they lied to Miss Alamandra's face and told her that it was alcohol poisoning. But SHANQUELLA'S sister and the mom had heard that there was a fight that had happened. Now, at this point, they hadn't seen the video. It was just something that they heard, because the word was that Dejhanae was telling her friends, "Yeah, I beat that ass," or whatever. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So word had got back once they found out that, you know, SHANQUELLA was dead. So people started talking about what Dejhanae had been telling people.
I just want to stop real quick. I'm so confused. Oh my God, this is just kind of like all over the place, because he's saying that Dejhanae came back and was saying how they beat her up and he beat her down or something. I thought she was already gone when they left Mexico. I'm real confused with their timeline. And then Miss Winters, you said they used her credit card to get home. They didn't have their own ticket to get home already. I see they're all their stories are all messed up. They're all over the place. So even listening to him, we're just hearing so many different stories. And the fact that there was a call on the 28th when she got there, she talks to her mom, and then they never talk again. They get phone calls from the best friend, Khalil, that, oh, she's sick, she's been drinking too much. This is from between the 28th and the 29th. And when did they come home that they could spend 4 days and this person can brag about beating her up until he realizes she's expired? Did they not know she had already passed? Hadn't she passed when she was in that room and they were trying to do life-saving techniques on her? It's confusing. I can't wait for it to really somebody just be honest and come out and say what's real.
Okay, so SHANQUELLA'S sister asked them while they was there, all three of them asked Dejhanae, Winter, and Khalil, did y'all jump on my sister? I mean, everybody said it was a fight. You know, did y'all jump on my sister? What? They was like, no, it was no fight. It was no fight. You know, it was alcohol poisoning. She died from alcohol poisoning. So I think about a week later after that, the autopsy came back and it stated that SHANQUELLA had died from a broke neck and a cracked, severed spinal cord. Okay. And so on Tuesday, the video came out and it showed that Dejhanae was assaulting SHANQUELLA, and it, you know, and the person in the video that's recorded is Malik Dyer. Okay, he's also the one in the video that you can hear very loud, in which SHANQUELLA responds back and say no to. You can hear him say, "SHANQUELLA, can you at least fight back?" That was his voice. The girl to the right, who was recording with the nails, that's Winter Donovan. And the guy at the end of the video to the left is Khalil Cook. her friend. Now, Khalil told the mom that he wasn't even in the room when a fight was going on, if a fight had happened, but he was right there. Okay. So what a source that's close to Dejhanae contacted me yesterday, Don, and they told me that they were friends with Dejhanae's mom and they know them very closely. And I vetted them and they provided information, you know, for me to believe that what they were saying was true. They told me that Winter, there's a second video, and on that video, there's a light-skinned girl that appears to look like Winter who choked, okay, who had their hands around SHANQUELLA'S neck and slammed her to the ground, and she doesn't move after that. We haven't seen that video. That video is not out right now, you know, whatever, but that's what the source is saying. The source is credible. Before you send me the link, that's what I was working on now and get ready to put that up. But the FBI is investigating. They are asking anyone with any information, any photos, any videos to contact them. It doesn't matter what branch you contact, whoever you contact, whatever, they're going to send it to the appropriate, you know, investigating agents, you know, or, you know, borough investigating it. So that's where we are right now. We're just waiting for charges, you know, to be brought. We do know that Dejhanae fled from North Carolina to Connecticut, you know, to be with her mom. And we do know that she is very, very good friends with Malik. And I have a screenshot that I'm getting ready to put in the story where Malik reshares a memory from last year on October the 30th, the day they got back this year, saying, "I love you, best friend. I got you 100% with a heart emoji."
Oh my.
Okay. So that's going to be up there too. But that's where we are right now. That's what's going on.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So the lies, and a young, beautiful, prosperous girl, young lady is gone on to the Lord. Jesus, we just need justice for her. This hurts my soul. That's why I'm even talking about it. And I just, you know, I pray for her family, for her mother and the father and the family, because they're having to deal with this, but there's a life lost. Do you know, I feel we are so desensitized to death nowadays, or people lives being lost, that we don't realize the true impact of people who really loved these people, what they're really going to have to go through for the rest of their lives, the emptiness, because people are taking lives like it's nothing, just like this whole thing with Offset, or I think whoever it is just shooting, all the rappers shooting and killing each other and just taking, you just beat somebody to death. Do I think that they really thought that was going to be the end of her life? I don't think in their minds they had that concept. But also, what part do you think that you can just beat somebody like that and not think they will have some major injuries? And then the whole selfishness, because now you only worried about yourself. I don't want to go to jail, but you didn't care what you were doing. You didn't think about your consequences. You didn't think about everybody that's involved that's going to be hurt for the rest of their lives because something that you did, all of you guys have done. These 6 individuals or 7, however many. I just pray they come forward. Somebody just be transparent and just tell the truth. Say it all from beginning to end. Give these parents some peace. If it had happened to my child, I want to know what happened. I wouldn't even have peace until I knew what happened. I'm gonna have to find me some peace and thank God I have somebody in my life that gives me peace, and that is God. But I would want to know, and then I want to know why. Norm, you back? Come back. I want to know why. I would want to, as a parent, you want to know, how did this happen? Why, especially to the person that you embrace as your own family member, Khalil. Why would you do this to this child? She's supposed to be your friend. Your best friend. You broke bread with us. You came to the house. You went on vacation with this family. The mom said, oh, I know you'll take care of her. The mom said that in one of her interviews. Well, I wasn't concerned because he was there. And I told him, you just make sure you watch after her.
Yeah, they said on he posted his itinerary, him arriving the day after.
Now that's Nazir.
Yeah. What was interesting for me was that when I listened to him on social media this morning, he said that he comforted her. She was living. There was a nurse that came, and he sat there and he listened to some soft music. I can't remember the artist. Right. And the only video he took was the one when he arrived, and the video of her. So why at any point during that whole thing did he not check her pulse, right, to see if she was actually living? Right, we know who's living and who's not, don't we? Right, or someone who's just intoxicated and or asleep.
Yeah,
he never mentioned any of that, you know. And I think it's just children trying to be adults, you know, way in the wrong way. This society is a bit jaded from the traditional family, and that sounds mediocre, but this young lady died. We know when people die, when they're lifeless, that's what, for me, adds a negative to his whole YouTube video, trying to exonerate himself. I still think they're all in cahoots. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you know, his character is being questioned, by the way, big time. I'm not even gonna get into that, but somebody's came out and said that he's done some horrific stuff and that he actually is a very awful person. So that's also in the wind. At this point, I can't even try to pinpoint the characters of these friends, except to say they're all awful.
That's scary.
They're all awful. It's almost, it's like demonic. It's all evil. I don't even know how you would characterize them besides evil. Yeah. Now, Miss Winter, I think somebody said something about the other girls. The girls had left, so they weren't there. I don't know yet. But what I do know is, even if they weren't in that house, if you knew what happened, you were part of it. And you didn't come out and say it. If you knew it was gonna happen, you knew it happened. You came back to the United States and you were a part of the conspiracy of the lie that said that the girl had the toxicity from alcohol and all this. I mean, God, it's not like these are not educated young people. Although looking at them, I question it. I hate to say it like that.
And what you learn in school, you don't learn. I can tell you that. Please tell
me HBCUs are putting out better characters than this. I know they are. We know too many people who graduate from HBCUs.
Sure.
But they went to an HBCU together. They all went to college together.
Skeet. I can tell you. Yeah, no, absolutely.
What did Cheryl say? She said, do you think they did this just to make a video? Cheryl?
Sure.
Yes.
I do.
We think they plotted it and they said, we're going to put it on video. We're going to put it on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, and we're going to get millions of followers.
Then get paid.
I don't think you get paid for one video, first of all. So a person's life, so some people can like it and you can get all these followers for a video of beating somebody up. Because again, do I think that they really thought that she wouldn't survive it? But I don't think they thought that person was going to go all in ham crazy on her either. And then I think somebody gave it some thought, the one that said, bro, you know you're a dude, right? Jumping on her like that. Get off her. That's enough.
There's a setup. I think to your point, Candace, I think we are so desensitized with social media that we forget about, I don't want to use the phrase traditional values, but to take a life has always and will always be forbidden, at least in my corner. And when somebody says it's enough, it's enough. It's enough. Why would we continue to do that?
And the girl sitting on the floor, not even trying to fight you back, and she was naked. They
Yes,
have to be.
ridiculous.
There's another video that comes out where somebody's walking through the house and they're saying, "How long is it gonna take y'all to get undressed?" So they were about to play. They were setting her up right then. They wanted her to be naked when this happened. Because nobody else was undressed. This person's laughing, going through the house. How long is it going to take you guys to get undressed? So whatever it was, she was participating and got undressed. And then from the door, this dude walks in. We don't know. We're only going by what we see. And people are talking about splicing tapes and all this and Photoshop. There is another blogger, the one that called this person androgynous, and which can very much mean that they have the traits of both male, female, but maybe it is a female because they're saying she's, according to Ms. Winters, that this person has had a baby and everything. That picture we saw was Photoshop. I very much believe that he's trans, but we'll find out.
I don't mind being wrong, but that's a boy.
I think that's a boy.
But
Because when I watched it the first time, I said he beat her like a man. And when I said that, I meant it the strength that he put into her. The I don't know, it was something about it that said that is a man.
I agree with you, Candace. I didn't see anything that would believe that strongest woman in the world. You know, I mean, he picked her off her feet, flung her across the room, and continued
to wail on her with all his might.
What kind of anger and or video is that important to preserving a life, right? So
it was hate, it was envy, it was jealousy, because that's what people will kill you. And I hope this is okay too. Over hate, over envy, and over jealousy, they will. And I think they were jealous of that girl because she had a natural beauty, and she had a beauty from the inside out, from what it sounds like, to the point that she bought people tickets, some of them, to get there. And she was just out there to have a good time. She was taking her photos. She has her own business. Jealousy.
I mean, but you know, I also think that how much of alcohol and social media played a part in this, because we're saying that
she didn't have any alcohol in her system.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying for the others, right? How what was the difference in understanding that? Yeah, we're filming, because he seemed to be completely out of control. Right.
He was completely out of control. Wait a minute. And then when he jumped off of her and the person in the back said, "Okay, bro, that's enough." He jumped up, he wiped his hands like, "And now I'm done." And it's done.
That is absolutely ridiculous and unacceptable at all.
Did you see him in the end when he wipes his hands?
Yeah, I remember.
And it's done.
That's a good point. I didn't even remember that portion of it, but it still says the same thing to me, that, you know, a video for social media is more important than a life. Really?
Yeah.
And because we drink and we're young and we're adulting in the wrong way, because that's what we're doing. We're adulting.
What do you think they were thinking, that, okay, we're gonna beat her up and then what's gonna happen? She's just gonna be okay to go home with us? We're gonna leave her there? What was the plan after you beat her up? And if she had survived it, what was the plan?
I don't think the intent was there, in my opinion. I'm curious to see what their intent was. I think he just lost control.
They planned it though. They all knew about it. They had the cameras ready. What was the whole plan? Okay, after we beat her up, we're gonna apologize to her and tell her about herself. Well, what were they gonna do? What was the plan?
I don't think
the plan was to beat her up.
I don't think
nobody's gonna jump in, let it happen. She's gonna get what she deserved, however they were talking, whatever the case may be. Best friend.
Yeah.
And then what? She was gonna come home with y'all. Everything's gonna be kumbaya. What was gonna happen? Oh, it's gonna come out. Somebody's gonna tell it all.
Yeah, I don't think she even thought about that. In my opinion, I don't think any of those 6 people even thought about that. I thought they just think that maybe they're making a social media video. The setup was real, and they lost a life, which was something that they didn't account for. And they let a man beat up a woman because, again, transgender, I have nothing against them, that group of people, that culture. But to your point, the anatomy doesn't change because you decide to cut something off or add something to it. More estrogen doesn't change the amount of testosterone that you were born with.
Or break your muscle mass down, or anything that makes you become more.
I think we lose the case when we decide that what we see in front of us is that person they want to be. It's okay to empathize and to want to include that in our society, but it's another thing to ignore the fact that this is a male, just like it would be a female who is going through the change. And I'm so, doesn't give me the right as a male to treat them as a male, knowing that they're female. That's
what you mean by the same as a female going through the change? You said we're going through the change, we turn into back into men. We turn into
you and I had discussion about
we did.
person that's born with both male and female parts, right?
Hermaphrodites.
Yes.
I was going to look that up. Yeah.
That's a different decision, right? That's a whole different.
Yeah.
But because I feel a certain way and I decide to change me, I don't know enough about this. This is my opinion. Change myself so it fits to what I feel comfortable with. It doesn't change your anatomy. Your genetic
anatomy.
Right? And I think as a society, we embrace it too much and forget about that. Hey, that's a boy, and he will hurt your daughter, even though he looks like your daughter, and vice versa. You get what I'm saying? That is your daughter who's pretending to be a man, and she just got beat up by a male. I'm just hypothetically. That's just what.
Cheryl was saying maybe everyone was afraid of him. They might have been afraid of Nazir. Who knows? Cheryl says she has to go. Thank you for dropping in, Cheryl. We appreciate you. Thank you for your comments. All right. Well, yeah, we can. We're basically saying the same thing, and I think it's because it's such a strong impact on both of us. The idea that a male beat a female like that. And that's what it is, bottom line. Photoshop, I believe that this is a transgender male, a transgender from male to female, and that because of the confusion in the world, that this Dejhanae actually, it probably in their mind, just sees themselves as one girl fighting another, where the reality, even the friends allowed it and they knew. But one friend actually, if you want to call them friends, of course, quotes, actually said, bro, enough. And that was on purpose because they called it like it really was. And it's just not acceptable. And it's not, and society has to start just let people be who they are, but be real with the stuff. You have those of us who want to actually speak on true anatomy and stuff, they come at you so with so much anger when you're only speaking truth. You have a culture, there is a culture that's called transgender or transsexual. And I believe they mean two different things, but I think one is with surgery and the other one's without. And one gets medications, but the reality is physiology, physical. I can't even say the word. Your anatomy didn't change. Right. You can put the hormones in you. You can take things off. You can open spaces up, but those cells are still dividing the way they're supposed to, and multiplying the way they're supposed to, and making the testosterone. You're still being built in the frame of a male or in the frame of a female. It just is. So embrace your culture. If your culture is trans, be trans. You don't think you're a born woman. If you were not born a woman, you just weren't. It's okay.
Yeah.
But because of this confusion, you have a female transgender person thinking it's okay to fight a female,
Beat.
But then you have society that has transgender women born as men, joining swim teams and women basketball teams and blowing the women out the water. Where's that fair? Where's that fair? It's not. Stop. Y'all stop. Can we be real? Can we be real? What's our final words, Norm? What's your final words? We're gonna follow this.
I pray for the family. I pray for the daughter that was lost. I pray that even for the people who initiate all of this, I do believe that there is something demonic in that whole thing that happened. I'm looking forward to hearing about what happens. but I still think that justice should prevail.
Yes.
And there are young people who are adulting, you know, and they're allowing social media to become a reality when it's really not. It's a form of entertainment. That's how it should be accepted. But I think our young folks, our young people, are being exposed to too much too early. But life was lost, and we can't separate ourselves from knowing that that happened. I can't sleep at night knowing that this child, who could have been my daughter, my wife, my grandchild, is gone because of society not preparing them or separating them from life that doesn't benefit them in the future, which is social media. So that's the final thing I have to say. Thanks, Candace.
I really appreciate you being here. And definitely come back because there's more. So I know you're following it. There's more. We're not going to just be jumping on though, just as everything. We're going to give it some time to really develop and get some facts and stuff. I just really wanted to come on because as a human being, I'm just disgusted. It's so disturbing to my soul. And I just want to pray for the parents. You know, the Lord give them strength to get through this. I pray these people come forward and ease. I mean, there's only so much easing you can do to these parents. So, but the truth would help just to try to get some understanding.
Amen. Yeah.
All these lies, just give them the truth. Just give them the truth. You know, and I pray for these people too, these young people, because they're lost. These are lost souls that would do something so traumatic, so heinous, so heinous. It's like their souls are just black, darkness, full of darkness. And I hate to say, this is where our society is headed. Something has to change. So I would pray for them too. I pray for them to have justice. Absolutely. You need to pay for what you've done. But I pray for your soul. I pray for your soul. Pray for their family. And we'll come back and we'll see what else is, develops, because it's going to happen every day. I would go over to, if I were you, to this Gerald Jackson, because he's going to be interviewing the father tonight. It's probably happening right now. So I definitely going to go over. I want to see. And again, I am going to follow and just see what else comes up. And I'm just really am going to pray for their family. And when I say we're going to pray, and I hope everybody is out there praying, because this should be major news. We need these people apprehended and we need them prosecuted. And we need it done in the United States so that we can make sure that they get everything that they deserve.
And Candace, if I can add one more thing, thank you for providing this platform for us to speak and vent and do all the things that we need, and without prejudice, and having a voice to be able to at least talk to our concerns with what's going on in society, especially everything that's happening now. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. Have a good night, Norm. Thank you so much. You guys, thank you for joining in, and we will follow this some more. It's just very sad, and it's just where our world is, and we just have to do better as individuals, as communities, and as a society in whole, because people are lost, and this just shows how lost people's souls are, and that you can't even trust people who are supposed to be a friend to you. This is so disturbing to me. That's the only reason why I'm talking about it, because the family, I hate that they have to even see this. There's so many sites, but just like Norm said, this is a safe space. This is a place for people to be able to come so we can vent. This is emotional event, and then we can vent and then shine some light somewhere where it's, give some kind of hope. And prayer is the ultimate hope, because the family's going to need it. We will follow up. In the meantime, if you run across this video, please like it. Please subscribe to the station, to the channel, and hit the notification button. I look forward to seeing you very soon again. Have a great evening and just pray.